Well, here we go, guys. It is rivalry day. It is Chiefs Raiders. It is Sunday Night Football. We are setting the scene for you right here on Kingdom Kickoff. Clint Schweitzer alongside a man that needs no introduction anywhere in the civilized world. That's Noah Groniger. Below us, our guy, Rich Baldinger. Baldy, welcome. Chiefs Raiders. It's happening tonight, and it looks like there could be a lot on the line here. Do we see anything from the Kansas City Chiefs that tell you that they can go to Las Vegas, take the bull by the horns, and take control of this division, because it's right out there on the table right now, buddy?
Just don't send any emails out there, right? You never know who's watching you or listening to you out there. Start off. But, yeah, I mean, after the Green Bay game, you wonder, right, guys? 13-7. Patrick, 120 yards in the fourth quarter. Now, I don't know if I should have gone and bet on a lottery ticket. Is that ever going to happen again? Simply – teams just got to find a way to come together and find a rhythm. The Raiders right now, Derek Carr, last couple of games, 3 interceptions the last 2 games. Is the coaching change going to be a difference for him? So a lot on the line for him in this offense. Defense got to do a little better over there too. Gus Bradley's defense still struggling against the run. So it is a perfect opportunity for the Chiefs. A lot of challenges for us, but we won a good game against Green Bay when we had to. I said it was going to be a slugfest. It turned into a beer brawl. So we got the same thing going out there in Las Vegas. I'm as confused as everybody else. So
exactly.
Let's get it done. I mean, if there's ever a game to get it done. And right now, guys, I just think we got to give up on the beauty of things. I learned that when I was about 12 years old. Richard, every morning you look in the mirror. It's going to shock you a little bit, but just push through the day, push through the day. That's what the Chiefs are right now. I just think that this thing, finding a rhythm, is just maybe not going to come into play the way they want it, and they're just going to have to find ways of winning. Special teams last week. Let's throw special teams out again this week for the Chiefs to do something for us.
Well, that and the Raiders seem like they're going through a lot of turmoil right now. Out is John Gruden, in is Rich Bisaccia, their interim head coach. Out, Henry Ruggs. We all know that situation. And out is Damon Arnett, their rookie that their second year, and he's gone too from Ohio State. So they're in turmoil. They're in flux. They're trying to find their offense without Henry Ruggs. They signed Deshaun Jackson. We'll see if he's ready to go and what he can give them on the offensive side of the ball. But talk about what the Chiefs have in front of them as far as an opportunity with this Raiders team kind of in turmoil.
Well, let's put it. I mean, how about Ingram coming to us? Last week, getting the first game, first quarterback. I mean, first rush, got a nice bull rush, got pressure, allowed Chris Jones to go back inside, and we saw what that meant for him. The failed experiment of having him at defensive end is over with. So we can move back to where we know he does his best on the inside. So let's stick with that. Helps the defense. How about Frank Clark 2 weeks in a row showing up? I mean, absolutely dominating. So whoever lit the fire under him, I think it's the Kingdom Kickoff that did something. I mean, maybe our screen or our show is just kind of filtering its way over there into the Chiefs locker room. So, 2 weeks in a row with him playing well on this secondary. I mean, you couldn't get a better performance than that last week, could you? But again, we've always talked about it. You get some pressure in the quarterback, you're a lot more confident on the back end of the defense playing. So, Derek Carr's going to try to take his shots downfield. I think so it's another challenge for us defensively. But as long as those guys up front, the last thing I would say, defense, let's start Wharton over Reed. Reed has done nothing for us in the middle. I think he's got about 15 tackles, no sacks. I mean, simply unbelievable. This guy had 22 sacks or 24 sacks in 3 years up there at Seattle. Comes here, just doesn't appear. So, that's another area we've talked about. But let's put Wharton in there. I think he'll do a better job for us rushing inside.
Great analysis, Rich. And, we're going to spend a lot of this show kind of talking about the rivalry. We have a couple of video packages. And, Rich, I've crunched some numbers this week. As you know, I spent a lot of time in math labs developing complex fractions. And
what kind of labs were you in?
Well, you've seen A Beautiful Mind. Just picture that. Picture A Beautiful Mind or Good Will Hunting. That's me. Noah, that's me. So I crunched some numbers this week, Rich. And this Chiefs Raiders rivalry, obviously, this goes back to the AFL days. Al Davis and all of this. We know what this is. Let's look at the numbers here because, Rich, we got this picture of you. It's copyrighted by Getty Images. It's the only one I could find of you that we could make transparent. But by the numbers,
wow, I did have hair back then.
Since 1990, Rich, Chiefs are 45-20 against the Raiders. That's astonishing. Andy Reid is 11-3 currently. Marty Schottenheimer, not on the graphic, but was 18-3. Rich Baldinger, however, only 10-11, a losing record against the Silver and Black.
Wow, what a way to finish the party with my losing record.
Don't know how that happened. Say hi to Howie Long there. He's the only person like from your era that I could think of that would be a fit to put on that graphic. But you know that when Marty Schottenheimer got here in 1989, this is towards the end of your career, but the emphasis put on that rivalry, it really did start with Marty Schottenheimer coming back, and he always would say, the Raiders will find a way to turn it over. They will find a way to commit a penalty. They're going to give you a game, and Marty owned the Silver and Black, and that started with 1989 when he got there. Was there a tangible, was there something about Raider Week? We've heard our guys like Kimball Anders and Donnell Bennett on our weekly show talk about how it was tangible. There was something in the air. What was it like from your perspective?
Well, it was always a brawl starting on Wednesday when it was Raider Week. You knew from the time you did inside drill, full team drill, pass rush, it was live. It was game tempo in practice, and Marty had those all the time. But we went at it, and it was you brought a different attitude. But the one thing I'll have to say, guys, when you knew you played the Raiders, it wasn't. I never, people always feared, the Raiders mentality. Listen, they could have all the guys they wanted over there, the fighters. It didn't bother me at all. What bothered you was their talent level. I mean, I had Greg Townsend on me forever. I mean, there was nobody better for a speed rushing, turning the corner and the club move. You had Howie inside. I mean, these guys were athletes, and that's what made them so good. And you knew when you played them, I didn't really so much worry about the brawling and stuff like that. They were just people that played hard for 4 quarters. And I don't know if they ever get credit for that, but these guys would come at you for 4 quarters. Now, maybe in the 4th quarter, it was a different way of playing. They might be throwing some right hooks instead of doing pass rush moves, but they came to play. So I think that's what Marty impressed upon us, that, guys, you have to take your game to a different level. These guys are going to come out. They're good athletes. They're going to find a way. They don't care how they win as long as they just win. And I love that attitude. You got to believe it. It works for them for years. But when you're the best talented team, you could do that. But that's what I remember from them. I just remember in practice knowing that guys like Howie, if you didn't do the right thing every play, every freaking play, every step, you knew it was going to be a long evening. And as I said, that's what always made them, to me, the toughest opponent when you played them.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned it right there, kind of Marty's crusade versus the Raiders, wherever they are, Los Angeles, Oakland, now Las Vegas, and just his mentality versus good versus evil, the guys that do it the right way versus the guys that do it the wrong way. Lamar Hunt versus Al Davis, a really good owner, and Al Davis, a good owner, but someone who had his problems with the league and fought the league and was against the league. And so we want to take a look at this package and kind of Marty's mentality when it came to Raider Week. So here's Marty versus the Raiders.
Well, I always felt, even before I came to the Chiefs, the Raiders and their arrogance were something that irritated the Chiefs early on. But I can tell you without question, it irritated Marty Schottenheimer.
That was the team to beat within our division. You put that big red dot on that team from that point forward to go, I don't care what it is, that's the team you're going to beat.
The Raiders were good. They were a good football team, so it meant something when you beat them, and the Chiefs did it regularly.
10 out of 11 times Schottenheimer has beaten the Los Angeles Raiders.
When Marty Schottenheimer got here, it was unbelievable, the domination. It never happened, ever, that one team so dominated the Raiders.
I always asked him for 10 years, what did the Raiders or Al Davis do that upset you so greatly?
All Marty ever said to me was, I don't like people that think they're above the law.
Jeff Smith taking on tacklers. Robinson got him, and it's going to be close to a first down. Now a fight starts up. We've got Chiefs and Raiders going full tilt. Big fight going on to 23. Big fight. Major slugging.
Marty Schottenheimer has said more than once that he thought Lamar Hunt was the finest man he'd ever met. And he viewed Al Davis as disrespectful. For Marty, it became a crusade.
We'll wear him down. Let's go. Let's wear him out.
He knew it was extremely important to Lamar, that history, that series, and therefore it became extremely important to him. And and it showed.
He's got a touchdown! 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 Kansas City! Monday night, Kansas City Magic has struck again!
You know, there's this almost irresistible temptation to think your team is not just better, but there's better people. We have more character. We do things the right way. Well, in that instance, that might have been a little bit true.
This is us! We got our people! Let's light the fuse and kick some ass!
Marty was a master motivator, and in the Raiders, he had a villain. He had somebody to point his team towards and say, look, we take those guys out. We're better people for it. There was really a sense of good and evil, and I think that played a big role in them coming together as a team and a franchise.
Let's build our house. Let's go. Focus and finish. Boat's loaded, men. Let's roll.
The Raiders had gone about business the wrong way. They had been a cheap shot team. They didn't represent the spirit in which the NFL should be played. And that when his team took the field, it was not just the Chiefs playing the Raiders, but it was the league and what it stands for and the respect that it deserves against these Raiders. I mean, their name says it all, right?
They don't represent the way the NFL should be played. That perfectly sums up the Raiders for me.
I think they'd fit in perfect right now in this world, wouldn't they? With this woke industry we got right now. Wouldn't the old-time Raiders be the perfect fit for them now?
Oh,
yeah, they were. I'm telling you what, they were a nasty bunch of dogs, man. They were a nasty bunch of dogs. There was another guy I wanted to mention before, was Scott Davis on the inside, defensive tackle. I mean, played about 5 years, but one of the best to played against. But I'll tell you what, they could bring it. They could bring it. They did whatever they could, and you knew that, let's keep it above water. It's family hour, but there were times when you had to defend yourself and other things and other people, and you took care of business. But that's why it's good to have a father who was in the United States Marines, because he taught you how to deal with people like the Raiders. So I didn't have many issues with that stuff. But it was for Marty, though, this was his thing. Marty always believed in, you know what? You did things as a team, and that's what made him a great coach. You have to work together as a team. You can't love everything, but if you don't work together as a team, you don't have a chance. The Raiders didn't do it. They always wanted to do on their own, and it drove them crazy. And that's why when it was Raiders week, you knew it. It was lit. The furnace was going on Monday, right at the start of the weekend. He made sure everybody understood the rivalry that it was.
Well, it seems as if that, when John Gruden came back to the Raiders organization back in 2018, that we might see a real reignition of this rivalry. We know how John Gruden and Andy Reid were close. We've seen some closely contested games. Last year, the two teams split. The Raiders got the win. But when you look at the Raiders and the things that they've lost, Henry Ruggs, and the kind of hampers their ability to push the ball downfield, which is really kind of the staple of this Raiders offense. Darren Waller still very effective, but maybe not having the year that they had hopes. And for the Chiefs coming into this game, really relatively injury free, but we got to look at that right tackle spot, Rich, because you got two right tackles out. You got no Niang, and it looks like Wiley's going to be coming in to start. So we saw this offensive line start to play a little better the last couple of weeks. Does this hinder that development for this offensive line a little bit?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think sometimes this offensive line needs to understand every week that it's a Raiders week and you go out there and play. I'm not happy with my group of five up front, especially in red zone run blocking. Goal line last week was a travesty. Maybe Orlando Brown needs to practice every day against Howie Long. I think Howie's about 60 years old right now, but I suspect he can still move pretty good. So maybe they need a little bit of that toughness right now. They got to come together. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, I'm going to make a prediction. If this group doesn't start playing in a more consistent way, now I know we've got some injuries at that right tackle position. This is going to be tough. But this group has got to be better. Too many weeks in a row, even Green Bay, only rushing 3 and still getting pressure on the quarterback. Forget it. It does not happen. When it happens, going to sidelines. The nuclear bomb is going off with your O-line coach. So we've got to be better up front, overall, across the board. Patrick right now, I still don't think he trusts this group. He's not standing in the pocket well. He's got jittery feet, and that's why his accuracy has not been good. I mean, he missed Tyreek last week against cover 2 when he was open. He should have hit him on that crossing pattern. So it's got to be better. And if this group doesn't play better, this team will not go to the playoffs. They will not make the playoffs. Or if they do, they're going to be out quick. So front five got to come together as unity, got to start playing well together, because if not, things just aren't going to happen. As we can see already, the great Patrick Mahomes is having his struggles this year.
Yeah, what do you think the Chiefs can do against this Raiders team? You mentioned Melvin Ingram coming in, Chris Jones moving back inside, which has been a huge help. It looked like Willie Gay and Nick Bolton playing out of their minds on the defensive side of the football at linebacker. So that's been a help. The secondary has been kind of solidified with that group of Fenton, Sneed, Ward coming back, and with the pressure that they're able to get.
Last week, didn't he? Sneed, the coverage was blanketed. What we got to do, guys, we got to run the football effectively. Okay, that is where it's going to be, and we can do some things. Those guys up front, certain plays, Andy has got to open up the playbook for the running. There's too many good athletes that we can put people in different positions and get them the ball. And not your standard I-back formation. We've got so many zigzags, motion shifts that create so much confusion. Well, let's get the ball maybe in the uncharacteristic way of just hand off. How about a quick pitch or something that to Tyreek, or, where's Josh Gordon? He said his speed is still top end. Why can't we get him the ball in some different way that will create opportunities for us? But I got to believe, and I'm still a firm believer of this, whoever wins that running game tends to win the football game, or wins that war in the trenches. And you look at the Raiders last week, they didn't do it against the Giants. They weren't very good up front, their front five. And Parker at the right tackle we should get a few sacks on him. Ingram should get a few sacks. So I'm just, overall, our front five guys got to perform. We got to be able to pound the rock for 4 quarters. Not to be able to run the clock really out to the end of the game. I just find that question mark for this team right now, and I think it's all part of your mentality. Hopefully tonight against the Raiders, guys take it to a different level. Excuse me.
Well, I don't want to really be the one to bring this up, but I guess I will, because the Chargers have just lost to the Minnesota Vikings. Yep. The Denver Broncos lose to the Eagles today. So this game tonight, Sunday Night Football, is actually for first place in the AFC West. Here we go, guys. I guess
it's a magic bus trip. Guys.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good. And here we go. Opportunities. What did Herb Brooks say in Miracle, about opportunities? These create moments. Moments create opportunities. This is an opportunity for the Chiefs. And regardless of how we've played, you've won 2 straight. You've knocked off a team in the Packers that were 7-1 coming in, and you have this opportunity here, Rich, to get to first place, which is more of a case of the other teams dropping off. But the Chiefs, we got 8 games left, man. There's still a chance here to get this thing going, is there not?
Can we? I guess one of my keys should be, let's try to keep the punter off the field. Maybe when the punter has more plays than Patrick does, it begins to make you wonder for the Kansas City. What did we punt the ball 6 times last week or something? I mean, it's uncharacteristic. I mean, it's simply we never got in a rhythm. So let's just take care of business, guys. It doesn't matter anymore. I hope they're finding out that it's all right that if it's just a smash mouth kind of ugly game, but just win it. Come out with an attitude. Come out with a sense of purpose. And let's take it to the Raiders tonight. Because, listen, they know they're scrapping right now. And I don't care what anybody says with the loss of John Gruden. When you lose your head coach, and remember, it took Derek Carr, was this John's 3rd year with him now? Fourth year.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And he finally got comfortable in that system and getting Ruggs with that vertical route finally and things. Now, all of a sudden, you've lost all that. So here's a team that's losing their identity, too. You know what, Chiefs, be better than the Raiders. Take care of business tonight out there in Las Vegas. On the road, where you've done so well on the road. You've had this. Take care of Waller, and I'll tell you what, you take Waller out of this offense right now, because the Raiders aren't running the ball very well. I think they're only averaging, about 80 yards a game? I mean, that's unheard of.
Jacobs has been banged up, so yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, their front five isn't doing it either, too. So, I think that we got some opportunities, and you know what? Don't worry about any other game except this one right now. You'll be right back on top of the division. Things work out for you, which is simply incredible. A couple of weeks ago, we were thinking, wow, we were ready to pack it
Doomsday.
in at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, let's get the skiing season going. Let's head to the mountains, you know.
Well, one thing that kind of Chiefs Kingdom was keeping their eyes on this week was the OBJ sweepstakes. Who is he going to go to? The Chiefs were in the mix. Pro Football Talk had them as the leaders. And then he winds up with the Los Angeles Rams. And then the next day at practice, Robert Woods goes down, tears his ACL. So OBJ is going to be their number 2 guy when it looked like that was kind of a questionable move because they had Kupp and Woods. But bringing this back to here in Kansas City, it seemed like that's a play that the Chiefs needed to make because whether it's McCall Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, they're not getting open. When they are given the opportunities, they're dropping the ball. They're not making the most of it. And that's causing Patrick to get the happy feet in the pocket. Not does he just not trust the offensive line. He doesn't trust some of his receivers to get open. And if they do get open, can they locate the ball? Can they catch the ball? Can they not fumble the football? There's a lot going on there. The Chiefs wide receiver room is pretty troubling right now outside of Tyreek Hill.
There's some question marks going on over there right now. And I think a lot of it, you know, I'm going to put the blame on the guys on the front 5 because when your quarterback, listen, even Patrick, when he gets to do his magic when he wants to, it's really good magic. But when you have to have that magic to complete every pass on every play, then it doesn't work out. You find out you got an empty bag of tricks. So that's why, you know, got to be better up front. I just think with the athletes that we have right now, the way I think McKinnon's got to become part of this offense. I like what he does, guys, out of the backfield. I think he can be an effective part of this offense. I really wish they'd get him involved more with screens, angle routes coming out of the backfield. He has shown he's got to wiggle. You got to move still a little bit. He can get, and I just think when you have somebody out of the backfield that gives you that much athleticism, it really puts the defense in the bind. So you want to play deep cover too? Fine. Linebackers, you want to be 10 yards deep to take away cover. Let's just throw swing passes or angle routes. McKinnon's going to get you 10 yards every time. So I look at him becoming part of more in this. I think the wide receiver position with Chiefs is what it is. It's something that we're going to address in the offseason. Right now, Hardman, Pringle, they'll make some catches. Other times they're not. It's not. Let's put it this way. Patrick's not comfortable with them. So let's bring McKinnon in because when he has played, he's been effective. And that's why he was brought in because he's got nice hands coming out of the backfield.
Great analysis there, Rich. And we're going to come back after this little video package to get our predictions and your keys to victory. So stick around for that. I just put together a little victory, a video package here. Great moment. Even of number have been so dominant, and we got to highlight some of these moments because we got Sunday Night Football. You know, this is a great feeling going to Las Vegas, really for the first time with fans there. A lot of Chiefs fans are down there, so enjoy this little victory package. Hopefully, for Chiefs Raiders, what I'm going to call a history of violence.
The games with the Raiders were not games. No, games are fun. You know, these were wars.
Let's take it back to 1991, the last time these two teams met in the playoffs. Even you'll remember this one, Rich. It was not the best day for Todd Marinovich, who was intercepted 4 times by the Chiefs defense. You even see Bill Moss getting in on the action on the fumble. Deron Cherry had multiple interceptions in this game. The Chiefs defense definitely carried the day, but look out because we got Steve DeBerg throwing to Fred Jones in the back of the end zone. That would not be a touchdown today, but I like the rule the way it was. Todd Marinovich trying to lead a comeback late. Not going to happen. The Chiefs are the victors 10-6. How about 1995? It is week 3, and we got to have some magic from this defense. It's an overtime game. Jeff Hostetler back to throw, and the ref's going to get in the way of Tim Brown, and James Hasty, Johnny on the spot, is going to take this one back to the house. Arrowhead is jubilant. So is Marcus Allen. Al Davis, not so much. How about 2 years later? It's Monday Night Football. There's under 10 seconds to go. Elvis Gerbach is going to get it to Andre Rison, who gets behind the Raiders defense. Chiefs are going crazy. Once again, guys, Al Davis, not so much. How about 2016? The crowd is chanting, Tyreek, Tyreek. And what does he do? 78 yards. This is Thursday Night Football against the Raiders. The Chiefs go on to win it and take the division in 2016.
You like that on special teams. That's why I think we got to go with Tyreek. Let's get Tyreek and do some razzle-dazzle on them special teams. Because all we know is that if he gets the ball and there's nobody within 2 yards of him, There's about a 99% chance, guaranteeing Vegas will put money on that number 10 goes to the house. So that's what I'm saying. There's creative ways. Our athletes are so superior, not only in what they can do in shaking and get people open, but just top end speed. So get him the ball in just any creative way you can do it, and good things are going to happen. And Tyreek hasn't slowed up a step at all, and he can do it every night. Let's find a way to get him the ball like that again.
Tyreek at kick and punt returner. That's one of your keys to success that we found out here. Let's take a look at the rest of your keys to success for the Chiefs to come away with a victory here tonight on Sunday Night Football in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Here's your keys to success.
Yeah, you got Crosby over there at the other side against Wiley. I suspect that we'll have to get some help to him. But listen, this is an O-line gamble right now. I don't know who's going to show up and play. And Yannick Noack on that other side over there, on the other side, the other defensive end, he's going to give Orlando Brown also some tough times too. So this is a real challenge. I mean, these guys got 21 sacks. Been limited a little bit the last couple of weeks, but they are speed rushers. They give them opportunities to get in the gap or go wide 9. They can do what they want. A lot of games. So it's going to be a challenge for us up front on the road. A lot of noise, a lot of craziness for the division. Our front 5 got to play real well. On the other side, hey, I'm going to say gamble with the blitz, guys. We know we can take on Waller. I'm not worried about Josh Jacobs, but I think these front 5 guys, this is where we can get Derek Carr. And Derek Carr, if you want to know the reason why I don't put him as a top quarterback, is in the red zone, he will turn the football over. He will find a way to where he'll throw his interception, and I think we can get that done tonight. So last week, we were excellent. The last 2 weeks, actually, with the blitz rep. Let's continue with it. I mean, it's worked. Guys up front are rushing better. I think that you put Derek Carr in a tough position, and I'm going to tell you what, he'll put the ball up in the air like Todd Marinovich will, and you'll get yourself a pick on the play.
We've seen it many times in Chiefs Raiders history, so we will see what happens tonight. It's a big one in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. We got to get our predictions, guys, and before we do, this just in from the Kansas City Chiefs Twitter account, guys. We're going old school. We are going back to the days of Rich Baldinger in this game with the all-white uniforms.
Ooh.
Let's go. This looks great.
There we go.
Only the second time in Patrick Mahomes' career. The other time was Monday Night Football against the Rams back in 2018. So bringing back the old white on whites. And for that reason alone, guys, and as I'm doing these numbers crunches and I'm looking at this history, the Chiefs win more than 65% of their games against the Raiders. Andy Reid has owned this division. We've stumbled a little bit this year, of course. We know that loss against the Chargers and kind of how devastating that was. We've seen the loss to the Raiders last year, but guys, I think the Chiefs come out and they take this game, and I think they control the game. Rich talked about who can run the ball better. Maybe the Chiefs are able to establish Darrell Williams and are able to run this ball. Maybe we see some, Terrence Gore. Maybe we see, that this offense start humming a little bit through the air as well. That's not against the law. So, guys, I think this is not going to be quite as high scoring as we saw last year, but I've got the Chiefs squeaking out this win 24-21. And in the end of the night, the Chiefs are in first place in the AFC West. How about it? Anybody?
No, I'll let you step up and take that challenge on, buddy. We're in Vegas right now where the city never sleeps. All right? Let's go with it, Noah.
I'm going to walk up to the window.
Are you betting on the black or the red on this, buddy?
I've been going back and forth all week long. I started off with the Raiders. Then I told Clint before the show I might lean Chiefs. And right now, after talking about it, I think I'm going to walk up to the window and place my money on the Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue against Brown and Wiley on the edges. I think it's too much. I think we're overlooking that. We tried to do that in Super Bowl 55 against the Bucs. Oh, this line will be fine. They can take care of the defensive line. It's not a big deal. We've got all these weapons. Mahomes will be able to handle it. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue against Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley. That's where the Chiefs lose this football game 24-20.
Well, I'm going to have to say that, young man, there are times when you're wrong in your life, and right now you are definitely wrong again. So I think, I was in Oakland. It's just it's an ugly place, so I'm glad the Raiders got out of there. But Vegas isn't going to give them any shine either right now. I think I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it over and over with the loss of John Gruden at this quarterback position. I think it creates the problems for this offense. I think they are going to slowly slide down the silky slope into, I'll keep it above water. I won't say the type of words sometimes that Marty said in the locker room, but let's keep it above water. I think the Chiefs are going to come away good win tonight, 24-10 on this. And I think Josh Gordon finally gets an opportunity. Andy Reid has been talking about this every week in his press conference. I know it. They're going to find a way to get him involved. He gets a touchdown for us. Tyreek, look for some fancy-dancy play. He will get it done too. Chiefs come away 24-10 victory on this one. It's not going to be pretty, but it will be a W, and the Chiefs are back in first place.
That would be a big one indeed. Can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with us here on Kingdom Kickoff, powered by Starcade Media. Always appreciate it. Noah, Rich, let's hope that after this we can absolutely just bum rush Noah and bull rush him right out of here, because this is he's going to deserve it. Even though I picked the Packers last week and was wrong. No one remembers. We all have short-term memory, so no one needed to remember that.
No, I'm betting house money here, buddy. I'm on house money line here, so it's going to come away with multiples for me tonight. So let me I'll text you in the morning and tell you what my bank account is at.
Exactly.
Hopefully don't put any money on Josh Gordon plus 4 receptions or more, because I don't see it happening, my friend. I know you said it could. I don't see Josh Gordon getting on the field and making a difference.
Well, I tell you, the one guy defensively, if we take, there will be one guy that we have to also, don't forget about Perriman at linebacker. I mean, this guy is playing his you-know-what off right now. He is effective. So take care of him up front, and I think you'll get some opportunities across the middle of the field. I think they're going to want to bring him a lot, but I think Patrick's too smart. Get rid of the ball. We'll move the ball this week. Believe me, Andy was embarrassed last week. Andy doesn't get embarrassed without bringing you-know-what the next week. So look for this offense to go this week.
Here we go. Enjoy it, guys. Chiefs Raiders. It is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let the chips fall where they may. Thank you guys so much here on Kingdom Kickoff.
Thanks, guys.